It looks like we saw a bunch of cannons up at the northern gold there, so it didn't want to sacrifice the army trying to take out a few cannons.
Yeah, I believe Colossus Tech was Colossus Tech is happening. It just was a bit delayed, and Immortals are always fun.
Immortals saved us. I think if it wasn't for those Immortals at the beginning, we would have lost because they did so much damage to that initial Stalker attack.
Oh, it really doesn't take many Immortals to start ripping Stalkers, Colossi, Roach, those kind of units to pieces. I've held off like 12 Roaches with 2 Stalkers and an Immortal. It really doesn't take much. We're pinging our next expansion, so one of my biggest worries at this point is I have to out-macro 2 people.
Yeah.
And if we can have a look, I'm only on 3 bases, and at the moment our biggest fear is that they get 1 or 2 expansions on top of us and then steamroll us.
Exactly.
Now, upgrades are going to help, but our 2 biggest problems at the moment is income. It has to be the same as theirs, and if it gets to a 200-200 fight, I have to be able to replace our army instantly because it's going to be a very, very close
We've got another attack coming in here. We've got this attack was kind of scary, but I believe Dark Templars saved us in this one.
Oh
yeah, those few DTs that are just slaughtering them.
I think we took out like half their army with 4 DTs because they just didn't have detection.
Yeah.
I mean, my Colossi don't even have range yet, which, well, they just popped range just then, and there's only 1 versus like 5, so that really didn't go well.
I had to micro the crap out of this Colossus in order to keep them alive against all those roaches.
Yeah, those DTs really should have been attacking earlier, and you can just see them start to hack away. That Colossi, probably a little bit of miss micro, but the other thing I was doing was just laying down cannons to get that small defensive advantage.
Yeah, and luckily we brought their army into the cannons and were able to basically hold it off. It looks like one of my Marines did finally get taken out, so I'm down to just the 1 Marine at the watchtower. The northern watchtower.
Should we do a Husty style and name it?
Name him the Hero Marine. If you want to name the Marine, go right ahead.
I'm horrible at thinking up names. That's your job.
Well, he'd be the Jim Raynor Marine then.
Chuck Norris?
Sure, we can go with the Chuck Norris Marine too. So we do have a small contingent of DTs now moving out, doing the old classic trick where you send in 1 at a time, just because if they do have detection, then you don't lose all of the DTs, you just lose the 1.
Well, the other thing is, I think we send 2 at a time, but we send them to different locations.
Yeah.
And one of the most common things you'll see is people never have more than 1 form of detection. And especially if you're playing 1v1 versus something like a Terran, they're only going to ever save up 1 scan, if they could. Sometimes accidental badness can save people.
And we just sniped one of their Nexuses, XI, which is a big deal to them because we're just trying to keep them from getting many expansions. I mean, look at
I think we got really lucky with this map, to be honest, for this kind of situation. It's incredibly hard to go for another expansion. Like, the golds are slightly covered, but they're so far away from your army that the only thing that's going to save you is static D, which they had. But, like, your 2 naturals, you can't hold them. Like,
oh yeah, this is when they sent DTs into your base. Oh, I remember this.
We were shitting bricks. I think, hold on, where are the DTs on the production line? Must have been ages ago.
Yeah, they're literally in, like, the base, like, they're smoking pylons left and right. There's the pylon that they used. And I think they had an observer to get vision.
Cheeky. I think I placed down a second robotic... Hold on, I'm going to go to my view for a second. I had placed down a second robotics facility in my other base by accident, and I just remembered it being there. And I was just like, oh, Chrono Boost, go, Observer. And at the same time making a Colossi go and take out their expansion, which I'm pretty sure is the only expansion they have at the moment on the map.
Yeah, that's the only one that we've scouted, but I'm basically just microing this Colossi, focusing down these cannons. Now we see the DTs running out of the base, going after my barracks, which is silly because it's not actually producing anything. There's the Observer, now we can see it. That's how they got vision. And here comes a massive blue army heading towards the northern side.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
And apparently I didn't scout it. Oh, there it is, Roach Hydra. Now this Colossus, I believe, gets smoked.
Yeah, Roach Hydra. It's an interesting combo, but the problem is someone just needs to get something like 5 Immortals and 6 Colossi, and you're just gone. The Colossi eat the Hydras, which, in a gaming analogy, they're your DPS, and the Colossi just...
We've got another Colossi on Colossi battle, but luckily for us, they didn't attack at the same time. Because we were able to micro against one, and now I've got to micro the crap out of these Colossi to keep them alive. Just basically keep them out of range.
Well, I mean, so I'm now jumping to the Zerg view to see how much pop he has. He has 172, and the Protoss had 100. So combined, they had more. A bigger army than we can ever have. Which
But I mean,
is something.
He's not targeting down the Colossi. He's trying to run into your base, so we're just getting tons of free damage.
Well, the other thing is he's got much less upgrades than us, which it doesn't sound like that much, but it's a huge deal.
Looking on their units, I mean, he's got 2-1 Hydras, 2-1 Roaches, which isn't bad. Upgrade-wise,
Yeah,
I mean, you're just now working on 3-3.
That's what we've got. I mean, the big person with no upgrades, I'm going to switch to the everyone camp, go find one of his units and click on it.
The Protoss guy?
The Protoss guy currently has no upgrades.
And he was the one that had the more, you know, he had the gold base too, which is surprising. But I mean, these 3 Colossi, we've got one that's got 11 kills, one that's got 8 kills, one that's got 9 kills, and they're just tearing down this army.
I mean, I'm currently cheating, I'm away from the view, but what I can currently see is Protoss is mining from nowhere.
Yeah.
If we look at the income tab, Protoss is currently mining from nowhere, and the Zerg is only mining from one base.
One
that
base
one
with
base,
47 harvesters, yeah.
yeah, but that one base isn't even fully saturated. He's got like 25 harvesters just sitting still, and Protoss has about the same. They're not exactly the best caliber of players. I mean,
no.
One of the things we had to our advantage was advantage is a wrong word.
And I poor micro at these guys, so we're gonna lose these Colossi. But I did, luckily with splash damage, I was able to take out 2 of them. And then we get the Zealots coming in.
Yeah, we really just took out Stalkers there. We didn't really take out any Colossi at all.
Yeah, we
Hold on.
Oop.
But we out upgrade them. We do out upgrade them, which is what was able to give us even that small advantage.
Oh yeah, we've got
and
3
watch
weapons
these
just
Zealots
finished.
just hone. Yeah, these. I mean, there you can just detail see Zealots versus Lings. Not cool.
And we just took out another entire army of theirs. We've got, looks like 30 Roaches now coming up for the Zerg player, as well as getting Aspire. Nothing from the Protoss player. I think he's completely out of minerals. Because I'm at the production tab and he's got nothing still. And he's just, I mean, he's now starting to get an income back, so I think he got his gold base built back up, but you know, when you have nothing in production, that's usually a bad sign.
Yeah, it's really not good. His gold is actually pretty close to mine now. Each mineral field has about 150, 200. The base that he's mining is his natural, and it's mining with 16 workers. So
and we just sniped another one of their expansions.
Yeah, that is again the big thing is we had this gold for ages. The gold bottom,
The one in the south, yeah.
Yeah, that won us the game. I do not feel too overconfident in saying that won us the game.
Definitely. Having that gold for that long, they didn't scout it ever. I think by the time they scouted it, we were mined out.
Yeah, which is not a good place to be. And on your vision, I'm seeing a lot of DTs.
They've got a lot of GTs in the base and killing a lot of your workers off, and working on those Colossi. We didn't have any detection down here because I couldn't find that stupid observer for the longest time. I was looking around the bases trying to find it.
I think I hotkeyed it and didn't realize that you needed it, which was not very good communication. I would be interested to know if these two were an arranged team or 2 random people who laddered together, because from what I'm seeing, if they're an arranged team, they're not very good. Their communication / coordination is shoddy.
Right. Definitely not the best.
I mean, the one big advantage you can pull when you're versing one person is you get a 400 army and steamroll them. Because no matter how many upgrades he has, he's gonna lose.
Oh, right. Definitely. And as you can see here, they did now, we did chase those DTs out just because of the fact that we finally got that observer in play, and I'm starting to get a lot of sentries from you because I believe you're starting to run out of money.
Yeah, my current, I swap back to my view, my current minerals is 900, my current gas is 3,500.
Yeah,
so
definitely a sentry army.
I've done this with a friend before. We ended up going up against like 50 Vikings, and I was just like, mass sentry. And we won. It was great. Because they deal a stupendous amount of DPS.
Sentries do...
What they cost.
They do good damage, and they have the, you know, the Guardian Shield and the Force Field.
I mean, to be honest, you don't need to be all that skillful with fields to achieve something.
This is my favorite battle right here. This Mutalisk on Sentry battle.
Oh, that's right. Mutas, Sentries, not a good mix.
Upgrades in Guardian Shield versus Mutas is just sad.
Yeah, it's really not a good thing. Do the Mutas have upgrades? No, they don't. That's
no, they're unupgraded.
Massive problem.
He went for basically ranged unit attack, and then when we had Colossi, then he tech switched, but hasn't upgraded his tech switch basically.
Yeah, I mean that is a massive result, given that if you want to just take that we had the same amount of sentries as he had mutas, we won 50 minerals per kill.
I mean, our sentries have 4 armor, plus you had the Guardian Shield, that's -6 damage. The Mutas are doing, what, 3 damage a volley?
3 damage a volley, and I don't think a bounce would do anything.
Yeah, I believe the bounce is completely negated then. I'm not quite sure, I don't play Zerg, so I don't know the exact numbers behind it, but as you can see, we're rolling through his expansion.
I think Garrett and Carl at some point said it was like 30% less damage per bounce.
Yeah.
I can't prove that, but it does sound about right. I mean, as you can see, I'm currently microing an attack on their base with a bunch of Colossi. So this is really where the two people, one army thing starts to come into play. Yep. I mean, I'm currently microing some Colossi versus some of their Colossi, and still this guy has not gotten any upgrades.
Oh yeah, definitely. And he wiped out his entire
economy.
He took out his gold base again, so his economy's shattered. I tried to do some force fields against the Colossi. That was not really a good idea. That didn't work out too well.
Yeah. I mean, again, you really don't actually need to be that skillful in force fields if you have that many sentries. It's just not an issue.
And it looks like our army gets wiped out here. So we have to bolster back our forces. But you do have another small little contingent of sentries for me.
At this point, I have very little minerals, but a lot of gas. So again, sentries is still going to be our bread and butter.
Yeah.
But this is the point in the game where at the income tab, I'm the only one mining.
Oh yeah, because we just sniped. I mean, we just sniped their base. I mean, Red's got some income right now. I think he's got